Hey, this is the heavyweight champ for UBC. You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Now, before I talk about this Freddie Roach story, I just want to talk a little bit about today's weigh-in between Manny Pacquiao and Chris Algieri. Now, originally, I was going to drop a video right after the weigh-in, but I got completely tied up, and now it's late, so it's no reason to really make a video. But I will just give my quick thoughts on the results or what took place. So, as we all know by now, Manny Pacquiao elected to have this fight at a catch weight at 144 pounds. So Manny Pacquiao, he came in at 143.8 pounds. And Chris Algieri came in at 144.4 pounds. Then he took off all his clothes and dropped down to 0.2. I'll tell you right now, I'm actually very surprised. With Chris Algieri being somewhat of a fitness guru, I believe before Chris Algieri became a millionaire overnight, signing the Manny Pacquiao contract, of course, his regular 9-to-5 job was a personal trainer. So it's really shocking to me, even if it's only, 0.2 over, it's very surprising to me that someone like Chris Algieri would come in overweight, okay? I mean, I don't really know if this is a good thing, if this is a bad thing. Does this affect his performance? What does it really mean? We won't know till tomorrow. But all I can say is this is not the first time we've seen a fighter do this. We've seen a lot of fighters come in overweight. Some of them performed great the night of the fight, and some of them didn't perform so well. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. But anyway, moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about Freddie Roach in his interview, where he does a tell-all like he always does in the majority of his interviews. So in a very recent interview, Freddie Roach, he talks about actually being there when he witnessed Adrien Broner getting knocked out by the highly regarded undefeated prospect, Errol Spence. Now, before Freddie Roach did this interview where he talks about Errol Spence knocking out Adrien Broner in sparring, I remember watching another video or another interview where Freddie Roach was asked, when Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather are gone, who do you think the torch will be passed down to? In other words, who do you think is the future of boxing? And pretty much with no hesitation, Freddie Roach, he said, what's that kid's name? The guy from Texas. And the reporter, he helped him out and he said, you mean Errol Spence? And Freddie was like, yeah, that guy. And then he starts praising this man. This guy is good. I've seen him train, so on and so forth. Freddie Roach obviously seen something in the gym that really, really impressed him. Because we know if Freddie Roach is not on your side, he can really talk bad about you. Now, when you hear Freddie Roach praising someone that he doesn't even train, because we know when Freddie Roach is training you, oh man, he gonna sell you like you the first fucking iPod, right? He gonna sell it because this man, he knows how to cheerlead. And don't get me wrong, Freddie Roach is a good trainer, but he really knows how to cheerlead, okay? Matter of fact, it's funny I'm even saying that because if you listen to what he says, soon as he starts training a fighter, it doesn't matter if it's Manny Pacquiao or it's Julio Cesar Chavez. This man, he starts talking about his fighters like they are all Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali. Just think for a second. Can you guys imagine how Freddie Roach would be talking if he was training Floyd Mayweather? I mean, just think about it for a second. Could you imagine what he would be saying? He'd be saying, man, this man is the greatest. Forget about Sugar Ray Robinson. Forget about Joe Louis and all them others. He would be praising the shit out of Floyd Mayweather if he were training him. But because of the circumstances with Floyd Mayweather obviously being Team Pacquiao's biggest rival, we can understand why he doesn't praise the other team. So anyway, going back to Errol Spence, the point that I'm making is if he's praising a guy that he doesn't even train, he must really like what he has seen in the past, right? So while I'm saying that to myself, he must have really seen something. All of a sudden, a week later, he comes out with this interview where he says that I was there, I seen with my own eyes Errol Spence stop Adrien the Problem Broner. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and read exactly what Freddie Roach said. Quote, I think Errol Spence is a future star. I don't know him that well, but I was in training camp with him when I was trying to help the U.S. Olympic team. He's a very good fighter, and he knocked out Adrien Broner in the gym. I was there. He was out. It's not a lie. Broner had no idea where he was. He didn't go down, but he was walking around out on his feet, and they had to stop it. Then Broner wanted to finish, and they wouldn't let him finish. And then it almost turned into a street fight. I kind of like Broner. I thought he had a nice side to him at one time, but he turned into an asshole. Spence knocked him out. I was there. I think he is going to be one of our future stars, end quote. Now, first thing I want to address is that last part where Freddie Roach said that Adrien Broner turned into an asshole. I just think it's funny coming from a guy who attacks people's race whenever he gets pissed off. The first thing he attacks is that person's race. Like when he referred to Robert Garcia as a Mexican motherfucker and then turned right around and called Elliot Setback an effing Jew. All in the same room, of course. Okay? So if he's calling Adrien Broner an asshole, I wonder what we're supposed to call Freddie Roach. Like I told you guys in previous videos, Freddie Roach will go down as one of the most controversial figures in the history of this sport we call boxing. So anyway, let's move on. So Freddie Roach, like I said he's seen this with his own eyes. First question is, should we believe Freddie Roach? Is he a credible witness? And I say yes. We should believe him when it comes to this. The first reason we should believe him is because he has no reason to make this up. Okay? This is not one of his fighters. Neither one of these guys are one of his fighters. That's one reason. Another reason is Freddie Roach, he went into too much detail. Like when he said that Adrien Broner was out on his feet, the corner stopped it, but Adrien Broner wanted to continue. It almost turned into a street fight. I mean, not only does that sound like Adrien Broner, but that is the stuff that happens in gyms all the time. I've seen stuff like this play out many times in sparring, okay? So I completely believe it. Freddie Roach has no reason to lie. I mean, it's not like he's defending his number one client or anything like that, right? He has no reason to lie about this situation. Not only that, but I know what type of talent Errol Spence is. I agree with Freddie Roach when it comes to this guy being a special fighter. I've been talking to a lot of guys out here in Vegas, and they've been trainers. They've been talking about how Errol Spence came to the top-ranked gym, came to this gym, knocking cats out with body shots, so on and so forth. So Errol Spence is no joke, okay? He's the real deal. Another thing I noticed as well is every time they asked Adrien Broner or his team about this, they would always respond by saying, we never even sparred Errol Spence at the Mayweather gym. We were in Cincinnati or wherever they were at the time. We weren't even there at the Mayweather gym, right? That's the way they would respond. They would notice they would never say, we ain't never sparred with Errol Spence. We just didn't spar with him there, right? And quite frankly, what boxer is going to admit they got knocked out or they got stopped in sparring? No one is going to admit to something like that unless it's caught on camera, right? That's the only way. We always say what happens in the gym stays in the gym unless it ends up on YouTube. That's all I got, guys. I'm on to the next one.